Back at it again. Hey, I'm Jason. I'm a game developer. Go check out my portfolio, please. I need a job. Intro over. In this playlist so far, we've covered how to make a character fight, and I think we've learned a lot on this journey, you and I. So let's wrap up making a complete fighting character and a nice bow. We're going to be rapid firing through a bunch of smaller topics and talking points that allow a player controlled character to actively fight a bastard. Targeting system. You can see the bastard who called you a poo-poo head who sucks on grass for sustenance. Time to square up. In Godot, step 1 is to make 2 node groups. In my case, I made a single player game, so I have the player group and the enemy group. Then, make sure each object is set according to the group they belong to. Step 2, make a script that finds a target for the fella it's attached to by looking for the first available object in the opposite group. Now that we have a target, and that target is available in the fighting character's brain, anytime anything needs a target to focus on, like when we're moving around the screen, attacking, or reacting to being hit, we can quickly check the relative status of our character in space against our target in space to determine our facing direction. Parsing incoming attacks. That's me. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Well, you see, I got punched in the face by a guy doing a move. Moves have a million properties, but only some of them are relevant to how a guy getting hit needs to react. So when a move gets allowed through the gatekeeper and sent out via a signal, it isn't the entire move that gets sent out, it's the bits and pieces that the hurt character needs that are packaged up into a smaller set of data, and that's what gets sent out with the signal. When I got punched in the face, I looked through that smaller data set to figure out what kind of reaction I need to make, how long that reaction lasts, and how much this hit hurts me. Grabs. Grabs are neat. They're the only reason fighting games can work as a competitive genre. If there were no grabs, you would never be able to do damage to someone who's mastered the art of defending. Anyway, how do they work? In 3D games, you can use something called animation root motion. Basically, this tells your engine that movement calculations are determined by the animation frame a character is in. Then you can use that information per frame to code in their velocity and stuff like that. Simply put, this means that everything should flow naturally with the visuals on screen. And if you combine that technique with skeleton sockets, you can make any character do any animation and it'll look the same as long as the skeletons are built the same way. Think of Street Fighter 6's avatars, those freaks of nature you can make. This is how they get them to do moves that look the same no matter how long your torso is. But, none of that shit matters in my project because I'm using 2D sprite-based characters. So haha, I just wasted your time with neat game development information, loser! 2D animation stuff like grabs need to be authored on a frame-by-frame basis, and there's no root motion to leverage, so movement velocities need to be determined completely manually. When it comes to the sucker that's being grabbed, since there's no skeleton sockets, their animation needs to be authored via an anchor point every frame. Once we have the animation set up with the anchor point, we then have to make grab data. In grab data, we set what part of the character we're grabbing, how long they need to be attached to the anchor point for, and what kind of reaction they're put in once the time with the anchor is up. Here's my grab animation raw with the anchor point visible. And here is my grab in-game. Very cool. Getting hit. So a violent act has been presented to your person via your hurt box. Now what? If you receive the hit has been registered signal, and the guy in the data package that was touched by it turns out to be you, how do you decide what kind of state you should enter? Are you properly defending? Are you wide open? Is it a grab? Well, if it's a grab, you'd know because grabs are sent out via a different signal entirely. If you receive a grab has been registered signal, and the guy in the data package that was touched turns out to be you, then you go into a grabbed state. In that state, you grab the grab related information from the data package and follow the anchor point for a bit. Easy peasy. If it was the hit signal, then you need to look at yourself and ask, did I really block that whack ass mix up?
Oh shit, Crush. I'ma block this whack ass mix up.
All of this yucky code aside, just ask yourself these questions based on your state information in this frame. Am I attempting to move away from my attacker? Does the move ignore guarding attempts? If the move is an overhead, am I standing up? If the move is a low, am I crouching? If I make it past these logical questions, then yippee! I did it. I blocked the move. From here, we go into the block state. We grab the block stun information from the incoming attack dataset, then set a timer for that amount of frames and wait. But uh-oh, womp womp, oh no, oopsie, you forgot, you made a fucky wucky, you failed one of those questions and you're about to go to Pain Town and get hit. Sucks to suck. I know that you got hit by the incoming attack, and you know you weren't blocking in time. I mean, come on now, be real with me. The whole universe knows. You're a failure. Since we already know you're getting hit, we only need to ask one question. Did you parry it? Just as a quick aside, parrying comes from Street Fighter 3. If you press forward, or are currently pressing forward, but only for a very small amount of time as the move was about to hit you, then yippee! You parried the attack, and go into the parry state, where you take no damage and the timer you have to wait for is much smaller than if you blocked the move. If you didn't parry, then you're about to lose some HP. Into the hurt state we go. The hurt state is also pretty simple at a base level. Get the hit stun frames from the incoming attack dataset, set a timer for that amount of frames, and wait. But if the hit scenario determined by the attack resolver had a hit reaction tied to it, in this case it was a normal grounded hit, and it did have a hit reaction for that type, then hurt state is a little more involved. In this case, we need to get the hit reaction data from the incoming attack dataset and use the knockback velocity in that reaction to fly away. During our flight, courtesy of the launcher hit reaction, if we touch a wall or the ground and the hit reaction has a chain reaction set to that collision, then we have to set a new reaction using that wall or ground chain and re-enter the hurt state again. On the other hand, if the knockback doesn't send you into the air, then we go back to setting a timer, but we use the hit reaction stun frames instead of the basic attack stun frames. Combos. I want to piece this guy up by hitting him again while he's still reeling back from another move that hit him before. Well, great. In my game, there's no extra steps to determining what's allowed to combo and when. Simply hit their hurt box again, and if they're already in their hurt state, then you make them enter it again with the new move information and have successfully comboed their ass. Don't get me wrong, there is space to create rules. I have a separate script component that is a combo tracker that tracks different things like number of wall bounces and number of ground bounces, but for now I have those rules turned off. Many fighting games do have rules in place for comboing, but I'll talk about those one day in the future. In this game, do whatever you want if you have the frames to play with. You can even throw them during a combo. Bonus. I lied to you, there is no bonus section. This is the end of the video. Next one I think will be the last one of these videos for this project. We'll go over the non-gameplay related architecture like menus and UI and how I structured the WarioWare style systems. Hey, sub and like if you think I'm funny, or you think I'm cool, or you think I'm smart, or you think I did a good job. I think all those things, so I already did. Go check out my portfolio if you want to watch my watch my stuff. Bye bye!